popular sweets, his cinnamon crumb cake, now in a patriotic sampler set for you. This is the 2018 Customer Choice Food Award for Best Cake, beating out our cheesecakes and other delectables that you've seen here at QVC. And he has brought his cinnamon crumb cakes not only in just cinnamon, but blueberry and the new cherry flavor. This is a great price. It's the first time we've done a big deal with Jimmy the Baker, and it's the lowest price crumb cake ever offered from Jimmy the Baker. Usually these go for around $40. Look at our big deal price. We're at $31 and a great easy pay. 3 easy payments gets it home for $10.33. This is moist. This is a layer of beautiful cake, and then it's the vanilla pudding cake he's known for that's so rich and moist, but then a layer of either that blueberry, or how about a new cherry filling that he created himself because he couldn't find a good one out there. So in his 30 years, he created his own cherry filling. Not overly sweet, just that right amount of sweet and tart that you want. And then of course your cinnamon trickled all through this. Okay, so here's what you need to know. More than 6,000 orders have been placed. So you do have to make a decision. We're gonna offer you 14 individually wrapped crumb cakes. You have to let us know, do you want all 14 in the cinnamon flavor? Cool, but if you're like me, you like to change it up a bit. You could do a combo. You could do a combo in the cinnamon and cherry, getting 7 of each, or a combo of the cinnamon and the blueberry, 7 of each. Once you decided what flavor you want, then decide, do you want just a one-time shipment of 14? Or would you like this on auto delivery? Keeps a good thing coming. Every 90 days for up to a year, these delivered fresh to your door. You can even change the flavor in your future shipments. You lock in this price. Again, normally a 14 count of the crumb cakes go for $40. We're at $31. And then you have to decide, do you want it shipped now, or would you like this shipped out June 17th? You'll do that to have them fresh and ready to go in time for 4th of July. But you're looking at everything that you're gonna get. 14 individually wrapped, big pieces of crumb cake. I mean, this is a David Venable size crumb cake. I'd say it's enough. One is enough for 2, but it's so good that if you're like me, you never want to share. Let me bring in our neighborhood baker. He has been so now for 7 years. Jimmy, who we love, who, believe it or not, has such an interesting story. He actually was working in Wall Street, or on Wall Street, back in the 80s, and left Wall Street to pursue your passion for baking because you said it was becoming a lost art.
Well,
what
actually,
good baking
I think Wall Street asked me to leave, but that was
that's another story, right?
No, but I did want to find. I grew up in an Italian household where food and love and happiness were all in one, and I really wanted to do something create something in food, and I fell into baking. And as a matter of fact, the 8th generation baker, who my mentor, taught me everything that I know. The first thing he taught me was crumb topping, because I told him I grew up on crumb buns. And that's where this recipe started. However, it's not a crumb bun, it's a pudding cake, because I know the QVC customer loves moist. Can't be dry, otherwise it's coming back. So what you're looking at is the cinnamon crumb with my flair to it. And with me, it's always recipe and process. I just don't, the way we make it is half the battle. So what you see here is a layer of pudding cake goes down, then a layer of cinnamon. What is the beginning of my cinnamon roll filling, by the way?
Oh, hello.
Okay.
And we love those cinnamon rolls.
And then another layer of cake, and then we put the New York style crumb topping on top. And it's brown sugar, butter, and a little bit of margarine in there to keep it nice and moist. But I want you, when you bite into a cinnamon coffee cake, you should taste cinnamon all the way.
By the way, 2018 Customer Choice Food Award for Best Cake. We have the award sitting out right here. I know a lot of you have picked this up. It's one of his most popular confections or sweets that he makes. So we opened up the testimonial line. Please give us a call. Tell us what you think about these. It's 1-800-600-1556. I need to taste, and I was the little girl that when all my friends wanted donuts or chocolate chip cookies, all I wanted was cinnamon crumb cake.
Oh no.
I was that girl. So I mean, it's just, and your crumb topping is so buttery.
Yes.
And the cake is so moist. This is really the art of scratch baking, which you don't see so often in the big commercial bakeries, correct?
So yes, taste is number one with us. And first, speaking, if you like cinnamon crumb cake, one thing that I discovered, as I was mentioning before, is if you put this cinnamon crumb cake in the microwave for 10 to 15 seconds, cinnamon lovers like yourself will get a whole new eating experience. You don't have to heat it up all ooey and gooey like the cinnamon roll, but by heating it up slightly, it'll bring out the butter and the cinnamon notes that a lot of people really like. Don't forget, this is a pudding base, which means it's nice and moist. By heating it up a little bit, you caramelize a little bit, you make that cinnamon roll filling inside a little bit gooey. You bring out the butter notes in the crumb topping.
Oh my gosh.
You can, by the way, if you so choose.
Jimmy,
Okay.
it is literally melting away
It does.
in my mouth.
It does when
and
you heat
it's
it up.
so moist. That vanilla pudding just has it really rich, and the cinnamon is silky when it's heated like that.
Yep.
And then just that burst of buttery crunch because of that crumb topping. My mouth buds, or my taste buds in my mouth, are going off like fireworks right now.
That's
it is
a compliment.
that
Thank
good.
you. So
Delicious.
When I was growing up, my mom used to make pound cake and ice cream. And you can do the same thing, toasted pound cake and ice cream. She would take a slice and put it in the toaster. Here, what I'm suggesting is that you slice the crumb cake in half, either on a diagonal half. Get a skillet, nice and hot, like you would for grilled cheese.
Sure,
Put
okay.
a butter in there, put it face down, and grill it up. So that now when you toast it, you get that the caramelization or the gooiness that you get in the microwave.
Yeah.
You get it even more, and then you get kind of this crispy edge to it. Now you get a crunch to the crumb cake. Not to mention the hit of vanilla ice cream doesn't hurt either. So.
Well, we are really busy now on the phones. This is super, super popular. A lot of you already love this, and you want to take advantage of this QVC2 big deal price, because normally 14 crumb cakes from Jimmy are about $40. We're at $31, and on Easy Pay of $10.33. Remember, with our food items, we don't charge you for shipping and handling, and we have a new flavor for you, and we're going to get to that next, but I just want to show you and go through your choices, because a lot of you are picking up the immediate ship date, and that is very, very popular right now. 6,000 orders placed. So this is everything that you're going to get. 14 individually wrapped crumb cakes that are huge, by the way. What you have to decide is the flavor first. Do you want all 14 to be all the cinnamon crumb cake? If you do, great, we've got it for you. Or maybe you want to switch it up and you want to try a different flavor. So in front of me right now is the combo of the cinnamon and blueberry. So you will get 7 of the cinnamon crumb, and then down below is the 7 of the blueberry that you get. This will be shipped ambient. We're going to talk about what you do when you get them home, because you're going to actually pop these in your freezer to make better flavor, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So there's your blueberry combo. Again, you could do all 14 cinnamon, or the new flavor right here, which I can't wait to try next. 7 of the cinnamon and 7 of the cherry crumb cake. If you want the cherry crumb cake in the immediate ship date, there's only 1,000 to go around.
Wow.
Already 6,000
Wow.
orders placed. You can have them shipped immediately, or if you're thinking, I want this for a 4th of July party, choose the June 17th ship date. It will get there by the 4th of July. And again, these are baked after you placed your order. So don't think that they're going to be sitting around that long if you choose that June 17th ship date. Okay, so in this though, you needed to bring in a new flavor. You wanted to do cherry. You already had been doing the blueberry, and that's been hugely popular. Why cherry, and why such a hard task to do? This was not easy for you to bring us cherry.
Well, what was the phrase? We don't do it because it's easy, we do it because it is hard, right?
Aw. And you love it,
The JFK
right?
of baking, I guess you could say. But anyway, they wanted something red, white, and blue. I have to confess, we make raspberry crumb cake, but raspberry's not my favorite, so I really wanted to introduce something new.
Okay.
Because it was time anyway, so we came to cherry. Cherry was a little bit of a labor of love, because I went to my produce guy. He delivered a bunch of, stemmed cherries. We took the cherries, we put them in the batter, we put them in the cake, and we ate them, and we said,
A little
big
too
deal.
tart, right? No,
So
nothing special.
I ordered cherry pie filling from my suppliers, from my bakery suppliers who make that, and I opened up the bucket. I saw more corn syrup than I saw cherries, and that really bothered me. So Francesco, my foreman, my head baker, who's a great baker, looked at me and said, "We've got to make our own." I said, "You're crazy." He goes, "No, you're crazy.
You're crazy enough to do it.
So he said, "But look," he said, "let's go back to basics. A simple filling that you would make in your house, a pie filling, is just the fruit, it's sugar, and it's starch, period.
That's it.
Nothing else. So it's not going to be overly killer sweet like you would have a store-bought or a commercially made pie filling, because it's not 80% corn syrup. It's just the real deal. So then process is always where it's at. You'll notice that we're baking in the cup still. And because we bake in the cup, let's just divert for a second. You'll notice the side of that cherry crumb cake is nice and yellow. It's not seared, it's not burnt like you would get, like if you put in a muffin pan or you put in a steel pan.
Because the metal conducts so much heat.
Right.
That's where it really dries out the outer side of a cake.
Bakes
and the inside,
outside
right.
in. So this gives it a more even bake. That's number one. But really what I like about it is that we decided not to put the fruit, either the blueberry or the cherries, in the batter, because fruit leaks water into the batter and made the batter watery, and plus the fruit was breaking up. So, yes, Francesco, your boss is crazy, because I said we're going to put the fruit in each one by hand.
Look at that.
Because one thing I want to make sure is that you get the same amount of fruit in every piece of crumb
So
cake.
you hand place the cherries and the blueberries.
As
on the
this is
crumb cake.
coming
That's
down on
insane.
this is coming down on the sheet pans, where all the squares are lined up. We are physically, there's a lot of people we have our gloves on, of course, with blue gloves by the end of the day, or red gloves, because all day long they're placing fruit in each of the individual cups, because I just don't want to hear, "I didn't get fruit in my crumb cake."
I hear you. Jimmy, we have somebody standing by. Somebody dying to come on in.
Oh, no.
I've got a clean fork for you, Mary Nelson, who was just on. You
I'm
worked
not
up
like that.
you worked up an appetite, I'm sure.
This looks
doing
so
your fashion.
amazing.
Here's your fork. Now we have all cinnamon crumb cake.
Yeah.
We have the brand new cherry crumb cake, or the blueberry crumb cake. What would you like to try?
They
Here.
all sound phenomenal, but the cherry, can I start there?
Yes.
I
you
think
can
you got
start.
to go.
Does it matter where I
No, it
choose
does.
from?
Just make
Now,
sure you get a
we
chunk of
heated
cherry.
up the cinnamon because we
Right.
like to get that kind of like that warm sensation. But you say with your cherry and blueberry, you kind of like to eat them sometimes a little bit more on the cool side.
Well, first of all, let's let everybody know. I really want you to put these in the freezer, whether you think you need to or not. And because when you take a pudding cake that's already baked, that's already moist, and you put it in the freezer and take it out, it takes on more moisture. I can go into the science. It has to do with frozen water droplets and all that stuff, but it just comes out more moist. That's number one.
Well, I do that all the time with your products. I
Right.
pop them in the freezer, and you're right, the flavor comes out better.
So I like to I take my frozen crumb cake and then I put it, especially with fruit, put it in the refrigerator, because I like to eat my fruit crumb cakes cold or chilled. Your mouth is 98 degrees, so when you put something cool in your mouth, it kind of melts in, and it brings out a little bit more of the sweetness and all that
Which
stuff.
Mary just did. What'd you think?
It tastes like I went to a bakery and they made it fresh that morning. Can you hit America here? And it's like, I've got another visitor.
Oh, hello. There's
Kirsten.
more seagulls flying in.
It tastes like, it tastes so true
Here, let me
to
get you a
going
fresh-
to your favorite
Boy,
bakery in
I-
town. Only you're doing it at home. Like
fresh fork.
This is beautiful.
Love this.
Hello,
Hello.
Chef. So
Moving.
nice to see you.
Good to meet-
Okay, so we have cherry crumb
I'm
cake,
sorry, honey.
which is a new
I
flavor.
knew how to
Cherry.
make
I did. I'm like, there's food.
She's hungry. Cherry crumb cake. We have a
This
cinnamon
one
crumb
was
cake.
warmed up. That one was just
But we
warmed
also
up.
have the blueberry crumb cake.
Okay,
Can I try the blueberry?
Of course, Jimmy, we need some slices of
I would love to try
blueberry.
the blueberry.
Absolutely.
Did you say that was the most limited? Did I hear that correctly? Or
No,
was it
cherry's
popular?
most popular
Okay.
and most limited.
Go ahead, go for it.
Jimmy, I'm
That
just gonna-
should truly be
Kirsten,
illegal.
what do you think?
That is so moist. It is so juicy. There's no way that you would think that this came out of wrapping like this.
Exactly, and the fact that you were getting the end pieces, which tend to always dry out, and it's just
ahead.
as moist as the center of these cakes because he bakes them in paper as opposed to metal.
Listen, I don't eat a whole lot of pastries, but when I do, I want it to be perfect. Like I want
Well,
every bite to
It's
count.
very funny that you say that, because that's the trend I've noticed in the last several years, that customers of mine say, you know what, if I'm going to do
Do
the
it.
crime,
It has to be
better,
worth it.
not just has to be, it better be worth it. And that's what's made us better bakers. to
And
be
there's
honest with
nothing
you.
worse than, at least for me, is getting that pastry and then taking a bite and not, ooh, or that was dry, that wasn't good. This is
Right.
amazing.
Hello on the cherry. Your new flavor that I never had before, just trying it right now, got to be my favorite. And I'm always a blueberry gal or cinnamon all the way. That is amazing. Not too tart, not overly sweet. You got that filling just
Blueberry,
right.
I would never think it, but blueberry is outselling cinnamon.
You're a wizard, sir.
The QVC
You are.
customer.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
The QVC customer loves
Kirsten, thanks
fruit.
for stopping
Thank-
in.